All right, in this final project of the course, I wanted to do something pretty challenging, and that was a composite that involved reflections, water, and refractions, and mixing completely different things all together and blending them properly. So we started off with this photo of a street that had water on it. We then add a mug, and then we change the color of the liquid in the mug, and then we have this photo of a woman underwater, and we put her in that liquid, and then blend them all together, and we get this final composite. I really like it. So let me show you how to do that. All right, so for this project, go to the lessons folder and find the woman in bottle, double click on that and open up the assets. And we're gonna start with the background JPEG. So just double click that and it'll open in Photoshop. Let's put it in here. Here we go. All right, Command and Alt minus to zoom out. First thing we're gonna do is crop this a little bit. So click on the crop button right here and let's keep these proportions the same. So hold down the shift as we crop here. So just close it up a little bit. I just feel like I'd like to have the leaf in the crosshairs. There's a cool little trick about cropping, by the way. It's always a good point. These thirds, they're really good points to have an interesting item. So in this case, the leaf here is right here in the crosshairs of this third, this lower right third. So aligning, if you ever have a portrait photo, for example, and you want to crop it, try to keep the eye, one of the eyes in the crosshairs, and that works pretty well. So let's just hit OK on that, and let's zoom in a little bit. Okay, so what we're going to do is we want to darken the background. I want to keep the leaf in the foreground. So one of the first things we're going to do is just make an outline of the leaf. So zoom in to 100%, and then take the quick selection tool right here, and just come in here and brush in the leaf like so. All right, should be pretty simple. There's pretty good contrast, and minus that if you pick some of the outside like I just did, holding down the Alt key. So by now, if you followed all the lessons, this should be pretty easy for you. Something like this, something like that. All right, let's add all this. Okay, don't really need the reflection. Undo that. It's really the leaf that I want. Okay. Something like this. Let's make this a little bigger. Okay. Here, here. Okay. All right. Something like this is fine. Pretty decent. Maybe take that out right here. Okay. And add this little bit like this. Okay. Let's go to select and mask. Just give it a little bit of a edge detection. Nothing too crazy. Give it a little bit of smoothness, a little bit of feather, something like that. And let's just shift the edge in a little bit, something like that. Maybe a little more edge detection. Okay. This bit here is not supposed to be in here, so let's take it out. This is part of the reflection, I think. Or actually, yeah, that looks decent. I could make it say, okay, find me some transparent areas in here. So let's do that. Something like this. Except I do not want that bit on the bottom. So let's get rid of that. Like so. All right. Something like that is fine. Hit OK. And let's zoom out. And then let's create a new group over here. So hit the group button. And then select inverse of selection. So we have everything in the background. And let's make it a mask. So it's basically everything that's in the background, and then make a new layer, and let's just call this darkness. Okay, we'll call this background. Background is fine. All right, darkness. We're going to hit D for default color, so it's black in the front, and then a shortcut of filling. Let's fill this with foreground color or black. That would have been fine. Hit OK. And then put the opacity of this layer at, let's do 75%, okay? And then add a mask that doesn't have anything yet. And then go to the gradient tool, make sure that it's the reflective gradient, and we're gonna click from here and up. So it's basically making, let me show you what we just did here. We made a mask that looks like this. Click and drag, and it does a mirror, so it does on both sides. And we already had the leaf was masked in this mask, so now we're basically masking out the leaf plus a gradient. So that's why it looks like that. So what we did was basically we darkened the background, left some of the light, the the light over here and certainly left the leaf in there. So that looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. Okay, so that's the first step, and we should just save the file. So let's go ahead and save as, and let's put it up in here and call it woman in not bottle but glass, and save. Okay, and in the next lesson we're going to find the mug and outline it and place it in here.